Okay, folks, we're back here. Firefighters have let me come up a little closer to the building now. You can see the ladder on the ladder truck right directly above me here. Was speaking with one of the firefighters as someone asked a question earlier, had there been any injuries? And according to firefighters, no, there have not been any injuries tonight to any of the crew who has responded here. And we're very thankful for that. We're looking at a historic building being destroyed by fire tonight here in downtown Princeton. We do not know the cause of the fire. I'm hoping that soon we'll be able to speak with Chief Brent Francis. Spoke with Coda briefly while we was off camera there just a few minutes ago, and he is declining a comment tonight. He said he's not wearing his mayor's hat, and he is correct. And we'll catch up with the mayor soon, you know, but it won't be tonight about the fire. We'll catch up to him in his capacity as mayor and get his thoughts on what we're seeing here tonight. We've just watched the firefighters open the door. They're trying to fight some of these flames down inside right now. As you can see, the flames began shooting back up to the top of the building, and we're watching these guys do their job. This is an amazing group of men and women that serve on the Princeton Fire Department. They've been doing this for, a lot of these guys have been doing this for most of their adult life, and I would be remiss to not say thank you to these guys as they do this with voluntarily. They don't do this as a full-time job. And like I said, we have an amazing group that does our firefighting. You see the trucks moving from the other side of the building right now. They were having to move quick because fear of the front of the building collapsing, and they're going ahead and bringing those on out from the other side, as this side of the building is safer to drive on. And just been notified that Chief Francis will join us here in just a little bit. But
this thing falls. It falls like 1.5 times bigger than it is. So.
Yeah. I tell you what. Exactly. I'll let you tell what you just told me about this side of this building collapsing, because that was something that I mentioned earlier to people about coming down the road for the next few days. Say again what you said about the side of the building coming down.
It falls about 1.5 times the size.
So, and I'm here with Rick Nichols, Princeton Fire Department, and he was the one that was sharing that information with us. Thanks, Rick. Like I said, you can see up here at the top of the building again, see the cracks there. This is why they're making sure that they yeah, the storage units that were attached to the buildings are the only ones that are damaged, and the ones that are inside, there was no storage units inside this building itself. What he said was, if that wall comes down, that it will actually fall 1.5 times its height. So just imagine a 2-story wall coming down, it would fall twice that amount. Had a question. Who is this? This is Tom Ward for the Banner newspaper. Like I said, as you can see, the building is still pretty involved here now. The flames have gotten back up on this one end. Let you see there along the top of the building. See where there is a brick structure sitting right here. That's part of the original second floor. Question was asked when the last time we had a fire like this in Princeton. You probably are looking early 1900s when they had the fire in downtown Princeton. This would be around 1910 when 7 buildings burnt at one time. There may have been more. Rick Blackburn or Linda Ward, Robert Ward, y'all might know better on that. And if you're watching this, throw a comment up there to answer that question. But this has been a very involved fire, as you can see. I mean, the flames are still shooting up the side of the building, and they're fighting it the best that they can. They've got several people inside this part of the building, and they're getting ready to pull them out. You can kind of see through the some of the smoke here in the building. Fire is burning deep inside. They have fired up ladder 1 again, and we're looking at them beginning to douse flames inside from upstairs again. We do not know right now. Do not know what started this fire. We just know that around 8 o'clock a call was made. Benji Kilgore and a friend of his were out riding around, and they happened to notice the smoke at the top of the building. Yeah, the water pressure is weak right now, but it's really beginning to pick up, as you can see now, Laura. No, Kelly Ward, the courthouse did not burn in the 1940s. The courthouse that's here now was built in the 1930s by the WPA. Sounds like we had a bit of a collapse somewhere a moment ago. I have backed away from the building as advised. As you can see, the ladder truck is still working to try to get the flames out, and you can see the steam rising. A lot of water out here tonight. So remember, if you are traveling about and you happen to come down South Seminary Street, remember, all this water that is running down into the street and is freezing. So it will make for very slick driving conditions on South Seminary Street here across from the city garage. Yes, Renee, the building is full of cracks. That's what they're worried about, that it could collapse at any point, and they don't know which way it would collapse. It could collapse in on itself, or it could collapse out into the to the little alleyways here. We just don't know. So that's the reason they're backing everybody up, and as they spray in with the ladder truck. Yeah, 8 p.m. was whenever the call came in for the fire. I did notice someone earlier said that they smelt smoke before 8 o'clock. I'm gonna walk around front and see if it was somebody asked about what part of the building collapsed. It was nothing on the front of the building that collapsed. It was likely something inside. Matt Beller, yes. Eddyville and Fredonia are here. They are not on scene. They are at the fire department just in case there was to be another fire. This building is owned by the Stoet Storage Company, which belongs to Rodney and Margaret Heaton. And unfortunately, they have suffered a major loss here tonight, as this is a building that they used for storage. And our prayers go out to them also. This is their business, and they are a local company here, and we hate to see that. Did notice that Amber Grandstaff said that they smelt it around 7:33, but did not see any. They did not see any smoke or anything at that point. Yeah, the storage units that were not attached to the building, and those are the only ones. There were 6 of those that were attached over on the east side of the building towards South Jefferson Street. What we're looking at there is those were the only ones that were damaged. Jessica Hartman, if you would, you can look us up on Facebook at the banner. Just give me a call here after a while, and we'll talk to you about that. I did see your question there. So yeah, we'll definitely talk to you about that. And Maggie Maceris was talking about the fire at the Robertson Lumber Company on off of Cadiz Street, across from the old Fortner's building. Yeah, definitely that would have been a big fire, not as like this one. And there we go. We just had a huge piece of the building come off. As Rick was mentioning earlier, you can't really see right now how far it has come out, but it has come out pretty good ways. And there was a piece of brick went skittering past me here on the ground a minute ago. You can see some of the little pieces of it there. But another big portion of this side of the building has now collapsed, and you can see the bricks laying there on the ground. Unfortunately, we all kind of knew that this was going to happen. Rick Blackburn has just messaged me and said that the building was actually built in 1901. So that would have been just right before the Black Patch Wars. So this building would have actually been standing that night that the tobacco warehouse was burned across the railroad tracks. It would have been a relatively new building at that time. So, got Jamie Boswell coming up here. He and I worked here together. Jamie, I've been talking to Laura Jean tonight and several others. And what's your thoughts on this? I mean, this is...
It's gone. This is gone. I'm glad it didn't get down in the warehouse part. That wood floor with that oil on it, it went up like a tinderbox. So but we stopped it there.
Right.
So that's a good thing. That's where a lot of the campers, a lot of storage, good storage stuff is back there. So,
right.
that wooden floor, if that got seen you too many times.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, if that wooden floor went, buddy, back in the warehouse, you're gonna mess.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, Brent is back. He is. Yeah,
Okay.
Brent is. Yeah.
Okay. But let's see.
Work here too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we was.
What's her name? Payne. Lacey.
Yeah.
She
Joyce.
worked here. Joyce.
Yeah,
Joyce, Lois.
Molly Thomas's mom, Joyce Lacey, worked here.
Bill Worth was our
Bill
boss.
Worth.
Yeah. Bill.
Johnny Kilgore,
Yep.
who owns Kilgore
Yep,
Engines.
watch out. Saxon, he worked here too.
Yep.
He helped us pack.
Yep, Scotty Saxon.
Yeah.
Several of us worked here back in the at the late '80s. Laura Jean said, "Tell you hi and be safe."
Yeah, thank you.
And
Barry.
yep,
Barry Smith.
Barry Smith
He
worked
in the
here.
warehouse,
Barry
well,
Fralix.
Yeah, husband and wife. Well, she killed herself, but German lady. What was her name? Shorty Dalton. He brought the trucks in here every morning. Shorty Dalton.
Right.
His wife worked here. What was her name? Dalton. Last name Dalton. I can't think of her.
Helga.
Helga. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, she's dead.
Rick Blackburn just mentioned a minute ago that the worst fire in Caldwell County, worst fire in Princeton was in 1960.
Oh, I wasn't
1960. That was before my time and before Jamie's time,
Yeah.
fortunately.
here. In the old Chesky building, that was back in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, the Osheska building in the late 80s, downtown next door to Joiners. I haven't seen Willie Harper, but that doesn't mean he's not here. It just means I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he was here earlier.
And Jamie said, yeah, he is here. So, like I said, that's Ashley Kirk said her dad worked here when she was little, and Roger McGregor worked here.
Yeah.
Marty Cooper was one of the employees
he was
here
our
too
boss,
at the
actually.
end.
Marty was a boss.
And like I said, it's Tommy Atwood, yeah.
A lot of people worked here back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. My grandmother worked here for about 18 years.
Yeah, there's a lot of,
Down at the old mill, out the mill downtown, the old mill.
yeah,
That's the hosiery.
a lot of memories here. And, Jamie and I talked earlier off camera, we was talking about the way this building was set up inside. As you know, they're trying to figure out, where certain, I guess you'd say, locations were in case they needed to locate something in there. There you go. Michael Vincent said that's where my grandmother Helga Dalton worked.
Yeah.
Me and Jamie just mentioned Helga here a moment ago, and then also Shorty knew him well.
He'd bring them over from the factory to here, to the warehouse.
Yep.
Every morning.
Somebody mentioned the East Side Cafeteria burning. Some people might remember at Caldwell County Junior High, the library burning.
Oh, no.
No, we was little, but it was around that time. Jamie's shining a light in here, kind of get an idea of what we got as far as that building, and you can see the bricks down here below. That I was showing these guys.
The packing room and all the sorting room right here is gone. The packing room we used to pack right here.
Yeah. Yeah, the front part of this warehouse that you're looking at, if you shine your light right to where his light's shining, that was the front part of the original warehouse. This section that you're looking at down here was actually built onto it years later. But inside that, I don't know if his light can shine through the smoke or not through the door, but there's a wall inside there that is actually where the old outer wall was on this side. Like I said, this portion right here was built on later, and then you had a long warehouse up top. It was kind of a T shape originally. Then they built on these two legs out the side, and at one point you actually had a courtyard that was in the middle of the building. Someone tore it out several years ago, and just opened up where the old courtyard was. Molly Braden says she worked upstairs filling order for the hosier mill in 83 and 84. That was just a few years before I worked here, and I worked up there too. Ashley Hopper, no, the part of the building falling has not caused any damage to any of the surrounding buildings.
I started here in 90.
Yeah. Yeah, you and I both were here at the same time. You was right here just before I was. And this is coverage from the Banner newspaper. This is Tom Ward reporting. We've been here a little over 2.5 hours. The call came in tonight around 8 o'clock to a structure fire at the old LeRoi warehouse on South Seminary Street. Yeah, you're right. We were pups back then. We're looking at a historic building that has burned tonight, and as I talked earlier, this building was actually originally built, and it was built as a tobacco warehouse. It was the Kentucky Dark Tobacco Growers Association originally, and then it became the Kentucky Whip and Collar plant, which lasted into the early 50s, late 40s, early 50s, and then Molite was here for a while too. After Molite moved to Hopkinsville, the Princeton hosiery mill purchased this building and moved their warehouse here. So when the warehouse closed down in the 90s, there were a few other companies that used this for storage. Someone mentioned Bremner. I cannot confirm that. I do not know. I know that the the last thing that I remember being here before this was turned into storage units was the Boy Scouts had a Troop 87 had their scout activities in the lower floor of this building. So people keep asking about the storage units that are outside. The storage units are okay. It's only the ones on the east side of the building that were attached to it on the South Jefferson Street side that have received any damage.
They said you don't talk to me.
Yeah, I've got Chief Brent Francis has come up. Brent, I've had a ton of questions tonight asked by folks. Do y'all have any idea where or why this started?
No, it evidently had a tremendous start right off the bat when it was dispatched. People instantly said there was flames through the roof and fire all over the whole building. Real heavy fire, real heavy smoke throughout the whole building.
Okay.
So it evidently had a real big start before anybody noticed it.
Okay. Your thoughts on this tonight? I mean,
Well, we were happy so far. Nobody's been injured. It's fairly tough conditions, to be out here trying to fight a major fire like that.
right.
We've had, good water supply. We accomplished our goal of keeping it from getting into the two big wings on the south side.
Yes.
Here. And there's a lot of storage, a lot of value in that wing over on the South Jefferson Street side, on the south side. And we're just happy we were able to cut it off from going down those two wings and burning all that. All this part in here in the center was already lost when we pulled up, so our priority was to get the aerial up and cut it off from going into those two wings, and the guys were successful in doing that. So basically, we're happy. We pretty much saved everything that was savable when we got the call.
Right.
And so we feel like we accomplished what we needed to do, and all we could do here tonight.
Well, and you've come back out of retirement and have taken up the post again.
Yeah. It's one of those rewarding jobs that really don't work a day in my life. I know it seems bad out here, but all the training, and most all of us that have a lot of years, this is what we've studied, trained, all our lives, and still happy to be able to contribute something to that.
Right. And, we really appreciate the job that you do, pre-retirement and post-retirement and now back in action.
Yeah, back in action. And all the guys, all the firefighters, they're the ones, and we've had a lot of help from everybody, around police, a lot of help from police, a lot of help from civilians around, and we appreciate that. And people have not, gotten away. That we really appreciate that, and they've helped out, and it's worked out really good.
Right. Now, we did hear that earlier that the Eddyville Fire Department, Fredonia Fire Department had come to Princeton to be at the fire department to help just in case.
In these conditions, this snowstorm, it's a miracle that there hadn't, there's EMS has gone to I-24 on an accident to check a person. I think the Edible group come up on an accident on the way up here. Fredonia come up on an accident on the way back to Fredonia right now. So they were here to not to help us over here, but to cover all of Caldwell County and the rest of the city for us until we could break some stuff loose here.
Right.
We've got everything but the aerial cut loose here, put back together, ready to go. We've got enough people to answer another call, so we've let them get back to their jurisdictions because there's just a bigger chance they'll have something at home than as it is here.
Right.
So we're back to where we can answer another call now, and but yes, it's so reassuring to have them here. We could have pulled them up here if we'd have needed them up here, but the main thing we were doing, they were doing for us was covering the rest of the city and the rest of the county.
Right.
We had so much stuff tied up here.
What do you got to say about this group of guys? I know you have a volunteer fire department. I mean, tell the folks out here how great these guys really are.
You see, they're all froze, wet, and most every one of them will have to go to work tomorrow. So that's what they do for the community, saves millions of dollars annually, and what they do for the city and the county both.
Right.
And that's how dedicated they are to stay up out here. We'd be lucky if people don't get a sore throat, get the flu, get sick, out here wet, freezing all night long, and they're going to have a hard day tomorrow. And the runs are going to keep coming, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, a lot of them wind up taking vacation days, using their time off from their work jobs to help out, at fires, or they just simply won't be able to go to work tomorrow. They'll be so wore out.
Right.
And we appreciate the employers that give their employees the time to be able to do this for the community.
Absolutely. Like I said, great job here tonight. Very historic fire on a historic night where we have a pretty good snowstorm here.
Yeah.
We really appreciate the job that you do.
EMS. They've had a couple ambulances over here. We've cut it down to one because we're now just in mode of trying to let the debris areas burn out, and keep it from spreading to the other parts of the building. And they still got one ambulance here in case somebody gets hurt or we need EMS for anything. So they've been here with us all night too, and the police. And so it's a team effort. It takes the community. It takes everybody, to be successful in this. And the main things are, it didn't burn everything up here, but the main thing is that nobody got hurt.
Right.
So we're not done. It's dangerous climbing ladders. It's dangerous on the aerial, because of ice and all that kind of stuff. But so far, nobody's been hurt. We're very thankful for that. A lot of collapse, a lot of the walls collapsing around.
Yeah.
We've kept everybody out of the collapse zones, so we're thankful for that.
And all of our prayers and thoughts. A lot of people are sitting here coming through, and they're saying thank you for all you do for the community, and everybody. We take several pauses tonight to keep you guys in prayer. We love what you guys do. We appreciate it. And
we appreciate it. And I tell you, I've said this many, many times over the years. Without the community's support, we couldn't have the equipment and the money, because all this stuff's real expensive. And without the community's support, we couldn't have the good equipment we have to keep everybody safe and to be able to get the job done.
Right.
Without the community support.
How many hours of training do you figure that your guys do for a situation just like tonight?
Well, we train 2 nights a month for 4 hours. We train 8 hours a month. Now, COVID has cut that back some.
Right.
And a lot of it has gone virtual, like a lot of the other meetings in school and everything like that. But we typically train 8 hours a month, and our guys go to regional fire schools over the weekends, which is 16 hours over a weekend. And then, of course, fires like this you can't count as training, but this is where you really learn you learn the basics and all the training, and this is where you really learn the street part. What the book can't teach you.
Exactly.
And, so we've got a lot of good young guys, and that's kind of what some of us older guys, to try to help those young guys learn the ropes and stay alive, make sure everybody goes home.
Right, and that is the most important thing, is that everybody goes home tonight, everybody goes home safe. Buildings can be rebuilt, lives lost cannot be replaced. And any word for the folks out traveling tonight and stuff like that, or wanting to get out traveling?
Well, we beg you not to do it. And I've seen people out in shorts. I've seen people out almost flip-flops in this kind of weather, like they think there's no chance they can have a flat tire.
Right.
There's no chance you're going to slide off in the ditch.
Right.
You're going to wish you had long pants on and something more than flip-flops on.
Right.
If you have to get out, absolutely have to get out, you need to have blankets, you need to have coveralls. I keep my hunting clothes in my personal truck. I've got this stuff in my work truck, where if you run out of gas, I've seen a vehicle run out of gas today. They weren't dressed for that.
Right.
So dress for something to go wrong. Sure, everything's okay as long as you don't have a flat or run off the road, or what are you going to do when you come around a curve and somebody's taking the whole road and you're in a ditch and you're dressed in to be sitting in your living room chair instead of dressed for being out in this weather.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, people have froze to death because nobody's out much. You slide off the road, nobody sees you. You could be there for an hour or two before anybody finds you if you lose your cell phone and can't make a call.
Right.
So
Right.
be dressed. That's what you're up against. Is it really worth getting out? Sitting out here in a ditch somewhere for a couple of hours trying to keep from freezing to death. I mean, this is serious stuff. It's life-threatening weather that we're in now. So don't get out in it if you don't have to. And when you get out in it, then that makes us have to get out in it.
Absolutely. Brent, thank you so much. We appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you for coming up and talking to us.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, thank you.
Brent, the trailer's back down here when they get through playing. You ready to go? Yeah, I'm going to the house.
Oh, I mean, are you ready to pick up?
Well,
So we're sitting here. We'll take a look here real quick, and then I'm going to take a little bit of a break, let my hands warm up for a minute, and we appreciate you guys watching tonight for for Banner's live coverage of the fire here at the LeRoi warehouse on South Seminary Street in Princeton. As Chief Francis reported, no one has been hurt tonight, none of the firefighters, and we pray that will continue throughout the night, that no one will be injured. Thanks again, Chief. And well, like I said, I'm going to take a break here for just a minute, and I'll be back to you guys shortly.